7 months ago, Donald Trump gets elected on the claim, this is a disaster, I'm going to fix it. And 7 months later, it's still not fixed, despite his, I think, sincere efforts to fix it.
I agree with you.
So why isn't this fixed?
Let me just say, in terms of chronology, one more piece to add, just to add to the historical note. The decision to invite Ukraine, and even more crazy, by the way, the country of Georgia, which is in the South Caucasus. And people should take out a map and look at this region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea and ask themselves a question. Is that the North Atlantic? Because NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Or is that the soft underbelly East and West Russia in the Caucasus Mountains? This is insane.
It's more Asian than European, but in some ways.
Well, it's literally Asia.
Yeah.
Because the European demarcation is the crest line of the Grand Caucasus. So we're inviting an Asian country, Georgia, into NATO.
Stalin's home nation.
And fascinating, why Georgia? Because look at the map also. Not only is it Asia, not only is it not the North Atlantic, but it completes the encirclement of Russia in the Black Sea. So it's not a random choice. It's Palmerston, 1853, brought to life by Brzezinski, 1997, and lived out by George Bush Jr. in 2008. They announced this. Putin says, no, this is not going to be. This is craziness. In the meantime, also remember that in this incredible hubris of the United States, this mad arrogance, in 2002, the U.S. unilaterally walked out of the anti-ballistic missile treaty. So the U.S. destabilized the nuclear arms control framework fundamentally in 2002. This is not sufficiently appreciated because from Russia's point of view until today, and literally on a strike on strategic bombers last week, Russia believes that the United States has killed the nuclear arms framework. So we're talking about not vague national security concerns. We're talking about fundamental national and world survival terms. Because from Russia's point of view, and understandably so, the United States doesn't want to play by any single rules whatsoever. So I just want to say that this Project Ukraine not only goes back to the 1990s, but the invitation was in 2008. The Russians said no. So in 2010, a pro-neutral president, Viktor Yanukovych, is elected. He comes to power on the basis of no NATO enlargement because he knows how dangerous that is for his country being between East and West. He says, stay away to both sides and we will keep calm. In February 2014, the United States conspires in a coup that overthrows Yanukovych. And that was a coup in which the U.S. was deeply engaged. My colleague at Columbia University, my colleague now, Victoria Nuland, was the point person on the ground. Jeffrey Piat, who was a senior official for Biden back in 2014. He was ambassador, in fact, to Ukraine, and then became a senior State Department official in the Biden administration afterwards. Senators, Lindsey Graham, he was out there, John McCain. This was a typical U.S. regime change operation. What do I mean by that? It means Yanukovych is in the way of our plan. We need to get him out of the way because we need to expand NATO. And so Yanukovych is overthrown on February 22nd, 2014, violently, within a nanosecond. Rather than saying, hey, the president should come back, a violent group overtook the government buildings, President Obama recognizes the new government within a nanosecond because this is a U.S. game. This is the whole point. If you were a serious country that believed in democracy, President Obama would have said, we don't accept mobs entering our buildings and overthrowing our government. President Yanukovych is the elected president, and he is the one we recognize. No, within a nanosecond, Obama recognized the new post-coup regime, the one that Zelensky leads today. And amazingly, according to script, honest to God, one of the first things that this regime brought to power by an American participation in a coup, not only Americans, there were Ukrainian right-wing forces also, but America played its active role. What is one of the first things they say? They say, we think Russia should exit from Crimea. What does that mean? We think the Russian military base needs to leave Crimea. Now, it was interesting, under Yanukovych's term, Yanukovych and Putin had negotiated not a territorial annexation of Crimea, but rather a 25-year lease. Thank you very much, that Russia will keep its naval base in Crimean Sevastopol. But immediately, the post-coup regime reads the script and says, we don't think Russia should be in Crimea. In other words, subscript, NATO is going to take over the military base in the Black Sea. That's when Russia immediately organizes a referendum, and Crimea is taken into Russian hands. This wasn't an innocent